In the summer of 1971, a group of teenagers stumbled upon a chilling discovery in the woods of upstate New York. They had been exploring an abandoned farm when they noticed a strange mound of earth with a metal rod sticking out of it. Curiosity got the better of them, and they began to dig. What they found was something no one could have anticipated. Buried beneath the ground was the body of a young woman. She had been bound and gagged, her hands tied behind her back, and her head wrapped in a plastic bag. The teens were horrified, and they quickly alerted the authorities. The police arrived at the scene and began their investigation, but they could find no clues as to the identity of the victim. As time went on, the case grew cold, and the mystery of the young woman's death remained unsolved. Years passed, and it seemed that the truth would never come to light. However, in 2007, a break in the case occurred when a DNA match was found between the victim and a missing persons report filed in 1969. The woman was identified as Mary Lyall, an 18-year-old girl from Corinth, New York, who had disappeared on March 2, 1969. Mary had been on her way home from work when she vanished without a trace. Her family had searched tirelessly for her, but she was never found. Now, almost 4 decades later, they finally had some answers. The police reopened the case, and they began to dig deeper. They soon discovered that Mary's murder was not an isolated incident. In fact, there were several other unsolved cases in the area that were eerily similar to hers. All of the victims were young women who had been abducted, bound, and strangled. The killer had left no fingerprints or other evidence at the crime scenes, and the police had been unable to identify a suspect. Despite their best efforts, the investigation stalled once again, and the killer remained at large. However, in 2010, a new lead emerged when a retired police officer came forward with some information. He claimed that he had seen a man acting suspiciously near the site where Mary's body had been found. The man had been The retired officer's testimony led the police to a suspect, Edward Wayne Edwards, a former police officer and convicted murderer. Edwards had a long criminal history, and he had been linked to several other unsolved murders throughout the country. The police believed that he was responsible for Mary's death, as well as the deaths of several other women in the area. In 2011, Edwards was charged with Mary's murder. He initially denied any involvement, but he eventually confessed to the crime. He also admitted to several other murders, including the infamous 1980 double homicide in Wisconsin, which had remained unsolved for over 3 decades. The case of Mary Lyall's murder is a tragic and chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk in our society. It is also a testament to the perseverance of law enforcement officials who work tirelessly to bring criminals to justice, even when the odds are stacked against them. The memory of Mary Lyall and the other victims of Edward Wayne Edwards will live on, serving as a reminder of the importance of remaining vigilant and keeping our communities safe.